Okay. My back is on fire. Day 2 in the blizzard. Well, no blizzard today, thankfully. I humped it around yesterday and I did like almost 8 miles in 20 inches of snow, and I was spent by about noon. Never cut a track, but I was in here the day before the storm. It's a piece of woods I never hunted, so I was kind of looking for somewhere to park that would be out of the way of plow trucks and turnaround spots, and so I found a good little spot to back in up off the road. I knew the snowbanks weren't going to be a problem if I did get plowed in. And went in another piece, poked around a little bit, found a good track. So I know there's at least one good one in here, and yesterday I found half a dozen rubs, some pretty good ones. So yeah, I didn't expect much out of yesterday, at least the first part. I probably would have been better off sleeping in and getting here about 11 o'clock after the snow stopped, so they would have been up moving around, but well, it didn't take long. I found a buck track. Guy looks like he was feeding on ferns right there. 200 yards from the truck, 150 yards from the truck. We'll go on this one for sure. I came to his first bed. You can see the tine marks. That's a good sign when you can see the tine marks in the snow. So I don't think he's going far. It's post-rut. They're just worried about food right now, especially with this cold weather and deep snow. So battery died. Wanted to save my spare battery. I only have 2 for recovery if I did get the deer, but I didn't. So I'll recap what happened after the battery died. I bumped into 3 does, looked like two mamas and a fawn, and watched them for a while. They eventually busted me and ran off. Followed on him for a ways, got into some deer, sorted it out, stayed on him. Got into some more deer, sorted it out. He left those, got into another set of deer. I had a hard time with this one. I had a hard time figuring out where he left. I finally figured it out. As I was following his tracks out, I saw another deer running off, tail up in the air. Looked like a doe or a small buck. It was pretty far away, but you could tell it didn't have a good set of antlers. But so I dicked around with him, found where he bedded down. It was similar size to the first bed that I found just down here. That ended up going back to the feeding area. So I walked back in there and it's kind of like throwing my arms up in the air, and I'm like, you know what? It's getting later in the day. I know that deer I saw was fresh. Maybe it was a smaller buck, crotch horn or something. I've given it enough time now. I'll go after that. So went after that one. That one ended up meeting up with the one I was on. It just ran that way and they ran off together. And there's one deer that twice it dropped a little bit of blood. Looked like out of its hoof or something, but just a little frozen piece of blood. I found it in one of the groups that he bumped into, and then I found it again. But there's so many deer milling around in there, it was hard to tell if it was from him or maybe someone maybe someone shot at him and grazed him or something at some point, but they kept, you know, I'd get caught up and they had half circled me and ran off and whatever. I gave them a half an hour once, and you're only supposed to really do that once, because after that they're just going, so you kind of got to just keep after them and keep after them and hope you catch them, but never did. So I did see one hunter. Tomorrow's Saturday. I don't know what that's going to do to the woods, but I marked where I left those deer. I don't know if I'll go back. Tomorrow's a new day. Today should be interesting, to say the least, because in just, you know, 24 hours basically, they laid down more tracks than you really want. But I did bump into 3 deer, so could bump into a buck. You know, there's not going to be hardly any wind today. It's 0 right now, and it's supposed to get up to 30, which will be nice, but I'm just going to cover ground and try and stay warm. So with any luck, hopefully we'll get one. Other battery died. I was getting all that B-roll stuff. I came across I knew it was a younger deer, but so I followed that out a ways, ended up jumping it. I saw a glimpse of it, but these deer will run. I mean, I've been hour and a half on its running track. It'll long stride every once in a while, but it's just bounding. There's something about these deer down here, they just don't stop. But I'm gonna continue on it. I'm not real sure if it's I was hoping to see where it peed, because if I saw where it peed, if it dribbled when it walked away, then I could at least tell it was a buck. But other than that, I can't really tell if it's a small buck or a big doe or what it is. So I'm gonna eat my sandwich here, and I'll continue to follow it just to maybe learn what these deer do, because I gave it 30 minutes, but I think if I jump another deer down here, I'm not gonna wait. I'm just gonna go, because that's a long way to run. They must get a lot of coyote pressure or hunting pressure or something. Makes them run a long ways. Alright, I bailed on that one. It went through 2 trees that were like, still could have been a spike horn or a small 4-pointer or something, which I'm not opposed to shooting this late in the year, especially. Problem is, listen. To sneak up on one on a day like today, enough to identify that it does in fact have more than 3-inch spikes, I mean, probably not gonna happen. Not for me anyway. That's one of those deer where you have to stumble upon it and it doesn't know you're there type of thing. To identify that in a split second when it jumps out of its bed and it's screaming through, probably not gonna happen. But anyways, back on this old class 4 road. It's another like 2 miles down this road to my truck. I'm just gonna go poke down here and then cut across through all that deer sign I saw yesterday. Kind of still hunt through there and hopefully get lucky and stumble upon one. I can identify antlers and shoot, but today was a tough one. It's super quiet. The snow's not, the snow's not noisy, but it's that when you put your foot down, it's got that bass in it. And we're not all about that bass, so I'm gonna get heading. Just jumped a doe and fawn out of that cut. I wasn't sure what they were. I just saw a deer get up. I was quite a ways away, so I took off running. I ran probably 70 yards and they were out of sight, so I looked at the beds and there was a big bed and a little bed, so it's probably a doe and a fawn. But yeah, I ran across a cut. That's the cleanest cut I've ever seen in my life. It's like they cut down the trees, dragged them all out, and limbed them all at the landing right there. It's not normal around where I am to run across a cut. You'd fall on your face in 3 steps. And it's like 2:45. I got another mile or so back to the truck. See if I can see any more deer. Well, that's it. Back on the road. A little after 4. I jumped another one. Another doe. But I saw a really So that's it for this week. Maybe just one more day, and that's it for deer season. So yeah, looking forward to turkey season. I know that. Probably get out and do some ice fishing and squirrel hunting and stuff, so got that to look forward to. But yeah, till next time.